Why are you all quiet? Yeah, we are live now. Hi guys, how you
Hey.
doing?
All good, man. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Hey. Wow.
Great to see you, man.
Hi, good people, once again.
Great
It's
to
good to
see
see
you
you
guys.
all.
Yeah, hi.
Such a warm Sunday. It's a warm Sunday.
Rose, what do you
Yeah.
mean warm? It's
Different-
cold.
It was cold.
It was cold.
It was warm. It was hot. He said it was. Everybody said it was. At least I saw the sun.
Yeah.
Hi, good
Yeah,
people. How are you? My name is Rosalind Keegan. I'll allow my team to introduce themselves. Maybe I'll start with Zuze, then Judah and Paulette.
Hi, guys. My name is Kelvin Zuze from Malawi, and I am a youth pastor, a rapper, and yeah, a graphic designer as well. Awesome.
hi guys. My name is Judah, originally from Ghana, but an African by life and by choice. So I'm a youth pastor too, and a poet and a missionary. And I think that's it for today. Yeah.
For today. Mhm.
So hi guys. I am Paulette Wairimu. A youth pastor, Kenyan, by the way. Let me see, because everyone is saying where they're from. Kenyan. And a financial analyst by profession. So yeah.
Wow, thank you very much. I just before we start off, just to confirm, all of you are seeing the link on your phones.
Yes.
Okay, it does not reach mine, but I think it will. It will. So today's topic is very. It's quite interesting. It's very nice. I mean, I think it's the core of everyone's life. And today we are discussing about identity. Identity in the lives of our teens, identity even in you as a parent. And to simply define identity, it occurs. Basically, identity refers of a sense of who you are, your self-identity, your social identity because of the culture or the environment, yeah? And at this stage where the teenagers are, they're actually consciously wondering who they are. Who am I as a teenager? And that is what we want to answer. Where are they getting their identity from? Who are they? Are they picking them from their parents? Are they picking it from the environment? Are they picking it from the culture? Is it about the society? So what is defining our teenagers today? I'd like to start my first question to you, Zuzi. Yeah. What are some of the things do you think influences the adolescents and the young adults today when it comes to identity?
I like the way you have put it in you've broken it down in categories. And I think for teenagers, because they are at the age where they want to be wild and free, they want to go out there and explore the world. Social identity is what influences them the most. What they see on TV, what they see on social media, and what they see out there. I remember there was a time where the people who put on glasses, nerd glasses, were called nerds, and they were just assumed to be smart, So I think the way they dress, the way they dress, the way they talk, the way they, portray themselves out there is what gives them value, is what gives them identity. So they want to be like that. So if they think they're not smart enough, they'll go buy nerd glasses and wear them and, just to look the part. because that's what the society has defined as smart. So they would do whatever the society has defined as that, and they would do it. Yeah.
Mm. Wow. So what other things? So you just said you mentioned people who wear specs. Is there any other thing you think influences about their identity? Because I'm thinking in terms of could a teen be influenced in terms of where they stay, their skin color, their height? Is there anything that you can add to that? Can they be
Definitely.
influenced? Even the schools they go?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Where they actually plays a bigger role even in their identity. Because there are social divisions, you know, like prestigious addresses, or you know, some other places. They would look at that. They want to be identified by where they stay, you know. That's a status quo. They want to have that status of, okay, I'm coming from this type of place, I'm coming from this type of place. So it also adds value. It's about value. It's about adding value. It's about being known and being identified with something or by something. So all those play a role. Even skin color actually does play a role. If the society says this skin color is more likely to have more advantages, you know, those are, that being so dark was a problem. Be light, you know, and then there's now this time where light-skinned people are mocked. They're made memes on Instagram and TikTok, you know, because this is how light-skinned people do. This is how light-skinned people do. Nobody wants to be light-skinned anymore. So it's just and that type of identity is very, very scary because it keeps on shifting, you know. Today black is beautiful, tomorrow light skin is like bae, it's like the thing. So yeah.
Oh, wow. So this 16-year-old, 13-year-old, even 18-year-old, even adults, there's so much that we want to be identified with. And maybe I'll hold on to that and ask Judah, why is it so big for young adults to be identified in a group? Yeah. Is it a peer influence, or is it but they want to be identified in this kind of group? They want to look this way. Yeah.
It's
Why?
because they're in a stage where they're searching for who they are. And so where they want to be is most of the time influenced by what we see on TV and stuff. So when they find a group of people who are closer to that lifestyle, they tend to do whatever it takes to fit into that clique or group, so that then they can belong. It's just a yearning to belong in something much greater than themselves, where they can also be proud and say, I am part of this. I am part of this. And I think it's mainly, I believe it's mainly because of their dreams or what the world has said to be cool. Because everyone wants to be a cool kid in school. Everyone wants to be part of the popular group in school. Why? Because it is said that they are the ones that enjoy school more than the ones who are nerds and who look like Zuzi with glasses, but no shades. But yeah, so everyone wants to be the popular so that they can have the privileges, certain privileges like be able to date or have the prettiest of girls as friends and be invited to those parties, just to be friends. Basically, it's just to have friends. Yeah.
I like what you talked about yearning to belong. Yeah.
Yeah.
What I want you to emphasize on is, does music, does kind of music also is part of an identity? Because I'm looking at young adults today and teenagers today. There's some who like gengeton, there's some who like rap music, there's some who like, is it an identity to want to belong, or is it just like, I like this music because it's nice? Can music be divided as an identity also?
Yes, it is, because we have divided music in terms of age. So my age mates or people who grew up in the early 90s or late 80s will be more of hip hop fans and will listen more to hip hop music. And for the late 90s and the early 2000s, more into trap music, and they will identify themselves with that more. Just like I don't identify myself with, Luther Vandross. I will not even listen to him, but I can listen to him when it's playing on the radio, but I will not go on YouTube and look for him and listen to him. And so we put ourselves in, yes, hip hop, I have to wear baggy jeans, I have to dress this way because that's what my era is all about. And I want to fit into my era. Yeah.
Yeah. I think just to add on what Duda is saying, I can tell someone's genre, someone's favorite genre by seeing how they dress.
Wow.
Or seeing, yeah. I can
by
actually
seeing how, you can tell something.
Yeah,
Wow.
just by looking at how they talk, how they carry themselves, how they dress, I can tell what songs they're listening to.
Oh, that's interesting. So explain that further. How, as in, you're talking about young adults or even older people?
Even older people.
Yeah, even older people, but it can be a bit
more of young adults
for older people, yeah. But young ones, because nowadays music is not just singing; it's about a culture. It's about there's a culture created around this. Okay. There's a way you dress, there's a way you walk, there's a way you talk. So it goes down to the core of influence. It just doesn't influence your feelings or emotions, but it also influences your way of life. So yeah, so it can be attached to your identity.
That's kind of interesting. I don't know how does a person who like gengeton, how would they dress? I mean, how would you paint or is it difficult? I mean, and I'm not sure I know what gengeton is, but I know it's a type of music. But would you know they would come and you'll take this one just likes this kind of music, or they prefer this kind of music? Would you?
Yeah.
What are they wearing? What do they wear?
The way what they're seeing, like the way the gengeton musicians are dressing is the same way they will dress.
Yes,
which is similar to the way trap musicians would dress.
Yeah, but the significant difference can be their talk.
Gengeton people talk a lot of sheng.
Yeah,
it's a lot of sheng. Yeah.
Because we should also understand that gengeton is a Kenyan, maybe it's a sub tribe of trap. We can call it a sub tribe of trap, where now Kenyans have it their own. Out of something, they have created their own in their own language, in their own. Yeah.
Wow. That's very interesting. What I've heard from you is that where you stay is basically your environment can influence your identity. The music you listen to can influence your identity, and that also will influence the kind of group that you want to hang out with.
Yeah.
Colette, what about social media? Yeah, because we've heard about music, we've heard about the area codes. What does social media also influence identity, and in what scale?
I think that for me, it's the highest form of influence, because right now everyone is on social media. every single person, every teen is yearning to be on social media. Every yeah, like right now when you talk to a teen, either you're on TikTok, kwanza right now they're so stressed because they think that TikTok is being banned. I've seen teens rant on how TikTok is going to be banned. So yeah, and Instagram. And the one thing that I've seen is girls and boys try to be what they see. They will go, someone has the most followers, they want to be this person. But then I actually get it, because even for people our age, when you see someone like Kim Kardashian, you want to be like the Kardashians. So it's the same thing with the teens. If they see a teen influencer or a teen content creator, they want to be like this person. So they will do anything to be like this person. If they're using this kind of thing, they will look for a dupe of that kind of thing that they can afford just to look like this person. Yes. So they really, really try hard to make sure that they're looking that, like, because these are the people that are considered cool, right? We'll say these are the cool people. They're the ones that get the views. They're the ones that get this thing. I also want those views on social media. I also want those likes. So why not change my look? Why not change the way I talk, the way I express myself, and be like this person, and I'll get the views and the likes.
Yeah.
So what I'm hearing from you, Paulette, is a teen can be influenced through social media by wanting to be cool.
Yeah,
so they
want to be cool.
They change their own identity to be like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that means they don't have an identity.
No, they're just carrying someone else's identity with them, which is so funny. Like literally, I've seen teens who one day they were like this, like the way, when someone is in primary, they are so cool. They are, they have found themselves sort of, and then they enter now like high school and totally different person. Different person.
And the influence is,
yes.
is maybe the school they want to, and watch the group of their friends are watching on social media. So you find this young girl who was speaking okay, all of a sudden they have taken the pronunciations, they're speaking like Kim Kardashian, or they're speaking like somebody on an influencer.
Yeah.
So actually their identity is towards this person.
Yeah.
It's like a copy and paste. So what happens? Why is this happening?
I think there's a sense of importance that comes with it, with identity. There's a sense of importance, there's a sense of relevance. Everybody wants to be relevant. Everybody wants to be important. I think it's something that God just created because everyone is unique. I think it's a default setting in a human being that we can't be like someone else. But then we find that hard to find. And we look for it in other people because they look like they have made it before us. So they kind of look like they're role models. So we go for them because we're looking for that sense of importance and relevance in our general society.
I've liked the words you've used. What they see is what they want to be. They want to be cool. Yeah. And a general sense of what the other people are. But I want to pick out from you, because you've talked about music. And there's this dance that everywhere you go, there's a dance, everywhere you go, everyone is dancing it. If the TikTok ones, the same dance. Is it just that it's a craze? Can it also dent your identity as a person? Because talk, you're not talking to yourself. You're not talking like you're supposed to talk to, what you're wearing. Yeah. Even the dance. Yeah. Is that also, because it's actually social media that has influenced a lot of these things. Is that also part of an identity issue, or am I just, it's a thing? I don't know.
I think that one is mob influence. Like there's something that happens when a group of people are doing one thing. So I saw some study where guys were put in one place and they were taught a dance. Yeah, they were taught a dance, and then there were like 3 members who were not there. And they were asked to join in that group and just do what they were doing. And the guys didn't know the dance, but they followed through, because it's like something that mass is doing, so you want to be part of, because everybody wants to be part of something bigger. So that yearning of being part of something bigger just comes out naturally. Yeah, so it's part of our identity, but I feel like it's part of what God put in us to work together, because we are relational.
But don't you think? Don't you think if I'm a 14-year-old boy and everyone else can sing, can dance, can rap, is dressed the way social media has said the way it's dressed, and I am not.
Yeah.
Don't you think? And you said, and Judah has said, "I yearning to belong." Don't you think I will not belong? I want to be identified as part of the group. So, what can you tell this young man who is just themselves? But I don't want to belong. They don't want, and they're there. Some of them, they're out there. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're there, Judah. And the other one said, yearning to belong.
If they don't belong, let's come again. What's the question? Your question is that if they don't belong, what do I tell them?
Is it okay not to belong?
Is
it okay to have my personal identity as me and not what other people are following? Yeah.
Yes, it is perfectly okay, and it even makes you greater and makes you more attractive. So I'll give an example people don't really like, but I really like it. Let's look at Kanye West. He's a perfect example. Ever since he entered into the rap industry, he has always decided to stand out. He has always decided to set the trend for others to follow. Wearing of torn clothes, he kind of like made it fashion to wear torn stuff, torn t-shirts on stage and in town. He made it fashion. He designed his own shoes and stuff, and it's a way of showing people that standing out is actually the best thing to do currently, because you're in a crowded space. So standing out makes more sense, and it gets you more attraction than following the crowd. So even on TikTok, the ones that currently do amazingly well are new content and not the content that are following the trends. So yeah.
I see that. I want to add that there's a question I want to follow up, and Zuzi, I want to ask this. I was just thinking about it, and we see a lot of these, but I want you to bring it out in terms of in the eyes of a young adult. Can a dysfunctional family, mess up a child's identity?
Very,
I know
much.
we discussed dysfunctional family earlier, Can
Yeah.
it? Can it? Yeah. Mhm.
Very, very much. I think family, we all know the power of family. That's where the kid gets, like Paulette was saying, you want to be what you see.
Mhm.
And most times when someone grows up in a dysfunctional family and they don't like what they see, they'll probably see it from somewhere. They'll see something that they lack from somewhere, because when you see your family and you feel like, okay, my family, they don't love each other, they talk too much, they just don't care, there's no sense of unity, there's no sense of belonging, guys are not together and stuff, and they see another family that has all that, they can actually want to be called by their last name.
Like the other family
They'll, yes, they can actually want to be called by their last name, because they feel that they're appreciated, they matter, they're part of, they belong to something greater than what they have at home. So if they don't find a which maybe just on the outward, the outward look is like deceiving, but then inside these guys are a problem, then that actually a problem as well as they are growing up. So dysfunctional families actually have a very huge impact when it comes to someone's identity.
Because at this stage in life, young adults, they're looking for, they're asking the question, who I am.
Yes.
Yeah, who I am. And what you've said is, if they don't find it in the house, they look for an identity elsewhere.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And identity can be either positive or negative.
Or negative.
Negative.
Yeah. So maybe
True.
a dysfunctional family can be domestic violence. Let's pick out a domestic violent home.
Yeah.
Or a father who's narcissistic, or a mother who keeps on yelling and making noise.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this young man or this young girl will not like what they see in their family, right? So where do you think this girl will go? Or this young man will go? They'll go for a place where it's peaceful. Where is that? Now complete the sentence. Where do you think these children, this young girl, this young boy will go? Where do they go? Yeah?
Rooftop ministry.
What is that? Rooftop
I
ministry.
don't know what that is. Rooftop ministry.
When you're looking for peace, guys lie to each other that you get high, it's peaceful, it's bliss.
Yeah.
So that's where people smoke weed. So they'll just be like,
cocaine, alcohol.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
So
the
they
girls
will
will go for
that feeling that they have.
Don't suppress it. And even the girls might go looking for a man who might even abuse them. Yeah. Because they're looking for an identity. There's something they're missing in their family. So they're going to look for something.
Yes.
But more often than not, and Paulette is really saying yes, more often than not, they end up something similar. Yeah. Paulette, just say something. I like the way you're smiling and shaking. Why do they always end up looking for an identity into something similar?
I don't know if it's, I feel like what I grew up seeing, I even have friends who, they show you someone they're dating and you're like, this is your father. Like you're looking for your father in a person you're dating. And I feel like girls have that a lot, but I also think even guys have that. So whatever I grew up seeing, most of the times that's what I'm attracted to. So like the way we were talking about violence, if there is violence in the family, you find that most women will be attracted to someone who's violent. And they won't think it's wrong. That is what they grow up seeing. So if my house is in chaos, if where I grew up is in chaos, most probably even the house that I am in right now, if I choose to settle down, is in chaos. Unless now, that's when we come, then you have these issues of people who have issues with their past where they need to sit down and sort the issues out because you're carrying so much baggage. So most of the times I find that even teens, they will leave the house. If your father was a drunkard, if your mother is a drunkard, or they're fighting, you will find there are these people who argue for no good reason. They have started a fight. That's what they've grew up seeing. So you start fighting with everyone. You start drinking because someone in the house was drinking. Because like we grow up doing what we saw. So what you see is what you're used to.
It's like normal.
So that is what you're going to go out there and look for. That's why you find teenagers who are struggling with so much. But then if you look at the background, if you look into their families, you will find those characteristics somewhere there. Yeah.
Because all of these things, they always mess up with self-esteem. Yeah.
Yes.
And self-identity, if you know, is basically understanding who you are. And once you understand who you are, you'll have the right esteem. You'll understand the person you are, and you won't want to be, you won't get attracted to a person that will dent your esteem. You won't get attracted to people or to groups that will mess up your identity. Yeah, because you understand who you are. Judah, Paulette brought up the role of mention about fathers. Yeah, I just want you to touch, and this is very important because we've discussed this before. Yeah.
Yeah.
What is the role of a father in a child, both the girl and the boy's identity? Because I remember we were discussing this, and we said Obama came all the way to Kenya to actually look for his identity, and he found it here.
Yeah.
Yeah. And most people, and especially for boys, there's an age they reach 13, 14. Yeah. And if they don't know who the dad is, they'll always say, wait, I want to meet my dad, I want to meet my dad. So what is the role of the father in a child's identity? Both the boy and the girl.
The role of a father in a boy's life is to teach him what it means to be a man. If not, the world will show him what it means to be a man. The role of a father is to teach a boy and tell him, you don't need to smoke, you don't need to drink, you don't need to have 2 or 3 women to be called a man. It's to come home to a wife or to a family and have dinner with a family and read bedtime stories to children. That is, so children then in their heads, they begin to see, okay, so this is how I should behave when I grow up, or this is how I should treat women when they talk to me. The way I see my dad treat my sister, the way I see my dad treat my mom, that's how I'm supposed to treat women. But in the case whereby he doesn't have that example at home, then he sees people on TV or people out there calling women the B word and treating women like anyhow. And he thinks that is what it means to be a man. You have to be in charge. You have to be in control and put your foot down, like some people will call it. But then he does not see the love aspects of being a man. That being a man means you need to take care, you need to protect, you need to be caring and loving to the woman. And for a girl, it's how to relate with men. Because my sister like relates so like really, really amazing because she learns that from my dad. She and my dad has this close bond, and it's not like she's the favorite, but they had this friendship thing. They could talk about stuff, and it's really, and currently since he's no more, like she really calls me and goes like, yo, so this and this is what I think about this. And I'm like, okay, then we can have conversations about boys, we can have conversations about the things that are happening. And it's, I really find it to be really, what's the name? It's an additional plus to have women speaking to the ladies' life and then men also speaking to the girls' life. Then they have a balance in their identity, whereby I don't need a man to tell me I love you for me to feel like I'm special. I already know I'm loved because my dad tells me I love you every single day. For a young man, like I don't have to prove to a lady that I can take care of her because my dad tells me like I am enough. And I feel like that goes a long way into the identity. Yeah.
Paulette, Susie, you want to add on that? The key importance of a father in a child's identity. Anything you want to add?
I feel like, first of all, as a parent, please do not tell your child who they should be or what they should do. You just need to be the person that walks with them, the person that guides them. Like, I feel like, ask your child, who are you? What do you want to be? What do you want to do? And then guide them. Be the person that is always keeping them accountable and telling them, you said this is what you want. These are the values that we've instilled in you. So even if they go like they're not doing what they had said they will do, then you remind them, this is what you said. So you keep them accountable and you instill values that are going to show them or guide them as they're going through the journey and as they're finding out their identity. Yeah, so that's what you should do as a parent. Just support your child, affirm them, and always be with them, like always walk with them and keep them accountable. Remind them. Yeah.
Yeah. I think what I can add, study has...
Yes, Susie?
I was saying what I can add on that is just that study has shown that people respond positively to praise rather than criticism. Criticism ends up messing you up more than praise does. Praise motivates you. And I think we even see that in the where God actually called Jesus, this is the Son whom I love, all pleased in. And that we constantly need to tell our children, believe in them, believe that they're somebody, they are of value, because the importance and the value thing is real. Like, we all, as young as we are, we want to feel important. We want to feel, it's not nice to feel like nothing. That's the biggest cause of depression and anxiety in young people, when they feel like they're nothing.
Yeah. What I've had, since it's very good. I've just liked what Kate have said. What I've heard from you is just teach your boy how to become a man. Yeah. Tell your daughter, I love you. So that when any other man has said it, they've already been told this by you as a father. Yeah. And walk with your child. Yeah. Do not impose your identity into your child, right? They have their own identity. Yeah, when they were brought into this world, they were given their own rubber stamp as their own identity. Do not impose your identity. Believe in them and affirm them. Yeah, that's amazing, and I hope parents are listening to us and understanding how it's very important not to rubber stamp your child identity. They have their own, it's called their own DNA, their blueprint. Yeah. Each child has their own blueprint, and that's what Paulette was saying. Yeah. All you need them, they said, is to affirm and believe in them and work with them and teach them to be the best they can be. There's also something I want to ask, and maybe Paulette, now that you are mentioning about a child having their own blueprint, having their own identity, and a parent working with them by affirming them and believing them. So, if that is not done, can it affect this child's future when they become adults? Do you have an example?
Yeah, I feel like if you are, especially first of all, the thing with you trying to, like, you see the way parents failed at some things, so they want their kids to be these things, and yay, so you want your child to do the things right. That is a no-no, because you will find a child who does not have an identity. They are adults, and this person has no idea who they are. So if you send them out there, what are they gonna do for themselves? See, they are being you. See, they've left the parents, but the parent is the one who like inflicted the identity in them. So now you're wondering, where am I going to start? Because first of all, you wanted me to be a doctor. Now I'm a doctor, and it's not working out. So what next? You wanted me to do law in school. I've done law. It's not what I wanted. So what next? As in, you find people who are adults who have no idea and have no clue who they are. And the worst thing is it affects every single person around them. So this person will go ahead, get married, and then it affects the family. Because you find that your wife is even wondering, or your husband, what is happening? Like you cannot stand on your own. Literally, you can't stand on your own. What are you even gonna teach your children? You don't have an identity because you were not given the chance to choose who you are. Because parents are not supposed to literally tell you who you are. God is the one who created you. He's the only one who can tell you who you are. No one else can. So you need to find your identity in the person that created you, and it's not your parents. So parents need to understand that you're just like the way I say, you're a helper to your child. You're a guide to your child. Do that. Don't tell them what to do. Like if they go astray, that's when now you come and tell them, this is what you said you are. So this is what you stand for. So just remind them when they're going astray, but don't tell them who they are. People have identity outside here. Yeah.
I like that, Paulette. I like that. I think what it does for young people, and when they're getting older, is it takes away stability. So they become so unstable because they become chasers of opportunities. They become chasers of what gives them value at that time. What gives them a sense of belonging at that time. So in their relationships, they'll just go to where they feel like they belong at that time. They feel like they're valued. In jobs, they can't stay loyal to a job. Even the job, will be so screwed because they'll be like, this job doesn't give me value. It's not prestigious enough. They'll be in renting homes in neighborhoods that they can't even afford. But because that gives them a sense of, value and identity, they want to do that. They would do everything to get that. So I feel like identity actually guides you. There are some values, there's some things that it just comes with when you have your foundation, firm foundation in your identity. There are some things that you can't do, and there are some things that you can do. But when you don't have that, in future, you will do everything. Just be moved by the wind, and you just be an unstable man. Yeah.
I'm just realizing how important identity is. Yeah. How important to understand who you are as a person.
Yeah.
And I'm picking up from both you, Paulette and Judah, about this, a child who was not taught, or the parents did not affirm them and walk them into their identity, and not rubber stamping their identity on them, will be very unstable as an adult. Yeah, they won't have life skills.
Yeah.
They'll be very dependent on whoever is around them.
Yeah.
These are friends who, if you tell them, please give me space, they take it personal. They even go into depression because they're used to being held their hands through. They cannot stand by themselves. They don't have an identity. So maybe Judah, I'd like you to come in and pick it up on there. And it's like, what kind of parents do you think bring up this kind of children? Do you think these parents have identity themselves, or there's something missing out? Who are these kind of parents? Maybe you can give us some tips.
I think these are parents who, they don't also know their own identity. They also follow what the society will. It's like they do everything for the society. So I have to live in this neighborhood for the society. I have to. And the thing is that your children are also watching. So even in this COVID season, when salaries have dropped and everything has dropped, are you going to tell your family, let's move to another neighborhood, or let's sell the car and let's buy a parcel? Like, then the question is, how would the neighbors see us? How will our friends see us? And once you are not, you as a parent don't even know, have your own voice to say, this is what I believe and this is what I stand for and this is me, and I have to take charge of stuff, and you let people determine what your actions will be, your children also pick that up. So then at the end of the day, they are like, okay, I have to do this because my friends, just to fit into the clique. So I believe parents themselves should keep these things far away from their children. If you're a parent and you do everything to make the society approve of you, just keep it far away from your children so that they stand strong in their own beliefs and their own decisions, that their decisions is not dependent on the society. Because their identity will get lost in the society. Yeah.
Wow. What I'm picking from you is, these are parents who look at what other people are doing and bring it back to their homes. Yeah.
Yes.
If your neighbor's son got an A, you come in and ask your son, how come you didn't get an A?
Yeah.
Yeah. If your neighbor has bought a car, you also want to go and buy the other car, or your sister or your brother or one of your relatives. Yeah. You're always following what other people are doing. And once you follow that, what other people are doing as a parent, you also bring in your children. If somebody has taken their child to a school, transfer the child to another school, you also do the same. If your son has been bought for a bike, they've been bought for a bike, you also buy your son a bike. As in, you don't want to be left behind. But if you're asked, who are you and what do you want and what is significant in your life, I don't think you're able to answer that kind of a question. And that's a kind of a parent who will not help a child have their identity. They're still holding on to their children and they're falling into their own identity. And it brings me to the question of identity when it comes to names. And Zuze, you touched on it briefly. When it comes to names and words. Yeah. In some cultures, names are very key, are very important. And people will want to identify you depending on the name or the tribe or the culture you're coming from. And also, Could you tell us how words can affect a young adult's identity? So there are two things, names and how words, sentence can even affect, especially from the parent or from a significant adult. Susie, you can hear me?
Hello? Yeah.
Did you hear me?
No, I didn't get the question.
Susie, where were you? Where was your? What was it?
I didn't get the question.
Maybe this
But you were shaking your head.
this conversation has taken him to his childhood.
It was taking you to your childhood.
This conversation is taking him back to the days when they called him
It's
names.
deep. This conversation is it's so deep.
Because
It's so deep because
I was thinking
the
about
conversation is so deep, Zuze. Why? You know why it's deep? Because even us, even me, it is actually taking me back to home. To are those things? Am I still doing the same things? Am I walking this journey with my children? Am I helping them to get their own identity as them? Are they taking some, So I feel you.
Yeah.
So,
I went back. They give you a name of your uncle and what he used to be like or what he used to do. And that comes with expectations for you. Like if you mess up, then you don't deserve that name. But it's a name that they gave you even when you didn't have an opinion. Like so you're like, why are you giving me a name and you have expectations of me? But I wasn't really aware you're giving that name in the first place. Like it doesn't make sense, So they tell you like in your teens to say, your uncle was this man, he was a very rich man, so we expect you to be successful. So I'm like, okay, I am not my uncle. So I really went back in time.
You went back.
Let me add something. So there was a friend who, when we were in school, used to say, like, yo, my family name, when you mention the name, or everything that comes into our head is woman. So, and that became his identity.
Wow.
That, like, for him, he has to always have, he cannot be alone. He always has to have like 2 or 3 girlfriends because his name to him, what he has been told is that it's woman.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's really sad. Yeah.
Even drunkards. Yeah. Wow. Names are heavy. Names are very heavy. Names are very heavy. What about
and
words?
Then there are some names that are just not right. There are names that describe maybe the family went through a very tough time when you were born. Like, you know what I mean? Like maybe there was poverty in the family at that time, and then you name your child. There's these African names that are so sad. Even kids right now, I don't blame them when they change them on Instagram and they call themselves Shanice or little Barbie or something like that. I do not blame them because you give the name.
Somebody will be called COVID.
Someone will be called COVID. Yeah, COVID.
Those are your people. Those are your people.
No names, man. No names.
Quarantine.
No names.
How do you expect them to move in life if they're
quarantine?
Quarantino. Quarantine.
No, it's not fair.
No, there are people who are called bomb blast.
For real?
Yeah, because they were born during the bomb blast.
Wow.
Rose, I know you know these things.
Well, we said below the belt, not below.
No names. No names. No names.
Huh?
You call your child COVID.
Achibabi COVID.
Yeah.
Coronavirus.
Yeah.
Corona. Then you change a C to a K.
Oh yeah, COVID, like even Corona, KO. Hey,
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Mm.
What about the words? Do words dent the children's identity, especially for parents? Like, well, maybe I can come home, a parent can come home. If I don't do that, let me say a parent can come home. The child has given them a bad report. And the mother or the father just said, you're very stupid.
Oh man. Please don't, if you're watching this, don't ever say that to your kid. Don't, even if they are dumb, like even if they are last in class, never say they're dumb. Never say they are dumb. Just don't say it.
What do you say?
Don't just say it.
The past 8 years.
Good job.
How do you advise your parents?
Well, I'm not saying you should say you've done a good job or blah blah blah. Don't address their performance, but don't call out things that they are not, because that kid will walk around knowing that they will own that. They'll own those words. They'll believe.
Yeah.
You can make someone believe something. It's easy. Words create. You tell someone you're dumb, they'll walk around thinking they're dumb. You tell someone they're beautiful, they'll walk around confident, thinking I am beautiful. Someone told me I'm beautiful. They'll be confident about their looks. So words actually are very, very powerful. So yeah. That's not an excuse to say bad words to your kid. Yeah. Just don't say anything, at least. Yeah.
Especially that word for you will never amount to anything. Those words are bad.
Yeah.
Those words are bad. Most of the times that's what parents say, or even a teacher somewhere told you you'll never amount to anything. Those are words you shouldn't remove from your mouth, whomever you are, wherever people are. Yeah.
True.
Yeah, and
true, because it affects it.
By the way, if you're a teacher, you play a big role in the child's life. Because I think the closest to, for me, even my experience, the closest to my parents were my teachers. If my parents say bad things about me, but my teachers encourage me, my performance would change. I would do well in class because of teachers, So if you're a teacher, your job is very important, and I want to appreciate you for what you do, and just know that you have a very huge impact. Yeah.
But now schools are closed. We don't have teachers. The parents,
we have.
Parents are
we are
teachers.
The priests. The parents, we are the teachers. We are everything. So I'm really feeling for these children, yeah, especially if they're in a home where it's cracked, where there's some cracks, and the words are harsh, yeah. Because when school was open, a teacher you go to school and your child will be affirmed. Yeah. When church was open, the child will go to Sunday school and they'll be affirmed. But now they're not going anywhere. That's why it's for parents out there, it's very important now just to relook at how we're going, how the words you're going to you tell your children, because those words hurt. And they hurt so much even at 45, when they come for therapy room, when they come for therapy, and we're going through their family history or their history. What turns out is they remember, my dad once told me I'll never amount to anything. Yeah. Or my mom told me I'm so stupid. Those words always linger. They might do very well. They might have the money, but there's a stress or there's a trauma that they had, and they'll say, I can remember at the back of my mind, I remember something my mom said, or my teacher said, or my coach said I'm slow. That's why I can't do this, because I believe I'm slow. So they're identifying themselves as stupid. And maybe this is a bright child, but when they are 4 years or they're in class 4, the teacher told them they're stupid. So that meant they stopped reading, they stopped working hard, and they got either average or below average. Or the mom or the dad told her, you'll never amount to anything. So what happens is they either work hard, yeah, to make money, just to this in spite of. But this money will be, you make money when you're so bitter, you basically will do nothing much about it.
Yeah.
Because you might actually work hard to prove to your father, who told you never amount to anything, but you not know the value of money. Because no one taught you the value of money. You've not identified yourself. You're identifying yourself as a person who will never amount to anything. So you're working hard to prove everyone wrong.
Oh, yeah.
So, but we're hoping, what happens is those kind of people who are told words or called names or do not have identity from their homes, people always come out, either a coach, a teacher. You can go to a place and find a good boss who will hold your hand. You can find a friend from a good home who will hold your hand and bring you up to a good identity. But at the end of the day, there always has to be an adult figure that works with your child for them to have an identity. And for us as Christians, all identities are on the foundation of Christ. That is a key. That is, for me, that is the bottom line. Yeah, that is the bottom line of all this. And it seems like our time is moving. Could you have our final shot? Anyone can start. Anyone can start. Because for me, that thing of words has really resonated with me. There's really a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I can. I think my parting shot would be that social identity, environmental identity, cultural identity, these things change with time. We have proven that they can't stand the test of time. Eventually, they will evolve pretty much into something, something awkward, something weird, and everything. But there's one place you can find your identity, as you're saying, that never changes, is in God. Your identity in God, when you find it, it never changes. It stands the test of time. So I feel like that's even in families, even when parents are teaching their kids, that's the first foundational place where they need to get their kids getting to know identity, knowing who they are in God, because that never changes. God never changes. It's the same yesterday, today, and forever. So that's the only reliable source of identity.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, what I'll say is, parents, positive talk. Positive talk. Like, no matter what happens, positive talk. Yeah.
Okay, for me, what I'll say is, parents, be the first point of reference for your kids. Be the first point of reference. Like, let them not find their identity outside there, but let the values that you instill in them be what molds their identity. And that is in Christ, definitely in Christ. Yeah.
Wow, that's great. Before we close, I'd like to give a shout out to Job Githinji. He said that's a great talk. Yeah. Then David Kanana said that is very good what you said. Maureen has said, hi Rosalind, great topic. Then Sylvia Wamboy has said, great to hear from the young people. But I'm amazed the way I'm happy. Benta has said very profound. Ida has laughed. COVID, a child called COVID, and even Benta, Baby COVID.
Baby COVID.
Yeah, even Job has said, yeah, words are very powerful, and Marion has agreed with him. Yeah, it's true that words are very powerful, and words break and make somebody's identity. Yeah. Thank you so much for being with us all these 6 Sundays. We've had several topics. We talked the first topic. We talked about I think we did social media. We did topics on drugs and alcohol. We talked about dysfunctional families. We've talked about teens dating. We went last week talked about schools closing. What do you do with these children for these 5 months that they're at home? And today we've touched on identity. We want to thank you very much for being an audience. We would like, yes, guys, we like to take how many weeks break? 2 weeks break.
Yeah.
Yeah, just to go back to the drawing board. When we started this gig, and all of you can get in now on this, yeah, we just wanted to have a place where we can have a conversation. There was no much planning. We just came in as people who have the same goal, people who believe in the same value, who believe in Christ, and we want to just have a space where parents can come in and listen to conversations that from the mouth of the young adults, from the mouth of Zuze, from the mouth of Judah, and from the mouth of Paulette. For me, I was just a moderator and actually questioning them and just clarifying them and standing brief for parents. So we'll take a 2 weeks break. 2 weeks break. We're going back to the drawing board. Then we'll come back again with the topics that are relevant to today's parenting. But if you have any topic, any suggestion, please write to any of us on our social media handles. Thank you very much for being a very supportive audience. And with that, bye until 23rd of August, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
23rd, yeah?
Yes.
23rd. Yeah, we're back on the 23rd of August. All right. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah,
Bye.
you're all great. You see, I'm affirming you, my words. You're all great people.
Great. You too.
Bye.
Thanks for being an amazing mom.